Okay, students, we are getting ready to continue with our cursive writing for penmanship. Today we will be looking at the letter G. And this is how you would write the letter G. Some of you would make it by writing a C, and then you come down and you curve. The G is coming downwards to curve and touch that bottom red line. So again, we write a C, we go up there, we come down and we curve it to write our letter G. So this is how you are accustomed writing the letter G. So if you notice, I'm starting from where you are custom writing and taking you into cursive writing, the letter G. So we space them out along the page. So let's get into cursive writing. So if you notice, when we started writing the letter G, I started from the top blue line and I came. So I started making a C first. Started at the top and I went around, right? So instead of doing that, to write the cursive letter G, as with all the other letters, I start on the bottom blue line. So I'm going up to make that C, which was the first letter we wrote. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to carry it and I'm going to come down and curve that G, making sure it is touching the bottom red line. So that's the first part of the cursive G. Make your C, go up like if you're writing an A, but then when you come down, you're going straight down to your red line and you're curving. So it comes like you're adding a tail there for the G. So the G is called a long letter because it is going downwards to touch that red line below there. So if you notice, I have the C, but I'm taking it and made it into A, and then I'm carrying it straight down and curving at the bottom to make that G. And all of the letter G will touch your bottom red line. And even though it's touching the bottom red line, this part of the G here, it's pulling up those two blue lines. Make sure it's pulling up those two blue lines. So I'm going to take this G now that we made here. Now when I go down to the red line and I'm curving, I'm going to take it and cross it back up here. So I've just added the second part to the cursive G. So I am making this G here at the top here. When I reach the curve here, I am curving it around and I'm swinging it back up now. When I'm bringing it back up, I want to stop halfway between those two blue lines. Cross it, bring it up and stop halfway between the two blue lines. Now I'm crossing it by the bottom blue line. Some children like to carry the letter G and they like to curl it all out. They are not doing that. I will have to use my eraser and erase it and send you back to do it. So we're just crossing it and stopping it. Remember, we are doing cursive handwriting and we want to stick to the simple aspects of cursive writing. So we'll do another line for practice. Start at the bottom blue line. Make your C, which turn into A, which turn into G. And then you bring it around and you cross it here, stopping halfway or midway between your two blue lines. All your G's are going to be touching your bottom red line. So the more you practice, the more easier it is going to be. So keep practicing. Right, so we have 2 lines of the cursive letter G here. So we started from what you know, and I'm taking I'm taking you into what you're learning, cursive writing. So I'm going to use the letter G now and create that pattern. So that's my first G. I'm going to take it here now where I stopped, and I'm going to take it and make another G. So I'm taking the letter G and I'm creating a pattern with it, writing 1 G at a time, making sure that they are all touching the bottom red line, making sure that they are all crossing at the same point, making sure also that they are sitting straight. You write 1 G, and if you raise your pencil, you start back from where you stop and you continue to make your next letter G. And your last G will end like this. So I'm going to create some group patterns using the letters we wrote so far. So this is our 4th letter. So I'm going to join up all those letters now. So I'm starting with a C, a A, a D. I'm joining all the letters together and I'm ending with a G. So our first group, a C, a A, a D, and a G. Make sure your D is standing tall, standing straight. Your D, remember your D touching the top red line. And when you make your G is coming down to touch your bottom red line. Now space for one more. Now this is not a word, this is just a little practice with the 4 letters we wrote so far. So I'm just going to rearrange the letters to make another group. In this group, I'll start with the letter D. I'll take the letter D and carry it to make a letter A. The A will go to make the letter G. And then I will end this pattern with the letter C. All the letters are joining to each other. D, A, G, C. Now remember, do not stretch out the letters. Keep them close. Use your eraser if you made a mistake and you want to try it again to make sure it's looking neat. And we are going on to our next grouping. Our next grouping is starting with the letter A. We'll take the A and carry it to make a C. I will take that C and carry it to make it into a G. And then I will end off this group with the letter D. A, C, G, D. And I practice that A, C, G, D. Make sure I have the beginning and the ending. One more group. A, C, G, D. We have one more group to write. In this group, I'm going to start off with the letter G. I'm taking the G to make a C. I'm taking the C into a D. And I'm going to end off this group with the letter A. So it's G, C, D, E. G, remember the beginning of the G, the C, the D, D. G, C, D, E. The majority of the letters are filling up those two blue lines. So this is our lesson for today. We looked at writing the cursive letter G. Remember to keep practicing.